My fellow ghouls and ghostmasters, and most welcome guests. When I was a teenage witch, I was conditioned by society to turn to the mirror for validation, and I got it. Mirror, mirror on the wall, what do you see? Foxy Roxy. As a teenage witch, I was hot. As I matured into my 20s, I matured in all the right places. Mirror, mirror on the wall, what do you see? A vivacious, voluptuous vixen. I turned heads. If this is what maturity does, I couldn't wait for my 30s. Then my 30s came. Mirror, mirror on the wall, what do you see? Something slipping, something sliding. My face. Was I imagining it? I looked back at pictures of me in my 20s. Smooth, glowing skin, lifted eyelids, thick, lush, shiny hair. Time had done a number on me. Well, 40 is the new 20s, so at 40, there was still hope. Mirror, mirror on the wall, what do you see? Oh no! I'm melting! Things had started to take a shift, or rather, a shift. I had to pull some fancy footwork to get everything back up where they belonged. Am I alone? Is this happening to you too? Looking back at photos of me in my 30s, back then I thought I was in decline. But the reality is, I was fine. I just didn't know it at the time. At 50, I stopped turning to the mirror for validation. When I looked back at those photos of me in my 40s, at the time, I thought I looked ancient. 10 years later, I realized that I was fine. Not fine, fine. And not just fine, but fabulous. From here, it occurred to me that if I started looking at myself today, the way I will see myself 10 years from now, when I look back at me 10 years ago, I would realize that I look 10 years better than I think I do. Or rather, 10 years better than the mirror says I am. I may be slipping and sliding. I may have so much flapping and slapping that when I walk, I sound like the percussion accompaniment to 76 trombones. But you know something, ladies? I am fine. We're all fine. We were always fine. Not fine, fine. And not just fine, fabulous. And we have to remember that and not let society tell us anything different. Now that I am well past 50, what do you see when you look at me? Do you see a witch? Or do you see an enchantress? Or do you see a queen, a daughter of the king, fearfully and wonderfully made? Which? Which? Which do you see? In truth and in fact, I am all three. What is a witch but a label for an empowered and fierce queen that people feel threatened by? I am a witch, a woman creating my own economic destiny, a woman being in charge of my own body and my own sexuality, a woman who frightens the establishment because of her power, who no longer turns to the mirror for validation, rejecting that warped idea that women should derive their worth from their appearances. That notwithstanding, I may be well past 50, but in any shape and at any number, I am still a bad witch. Back to you, Mr. Ghostmaster.